With today's technological and medical advancements, you are now able to obtain medical information about you, your future children, and your family that you were not able to a few years ago. By giving a few drops of blood, you are able to see your personal vulnerabilities to inherited diseases as well as your unborn child. This is where ethical, psychological, and legal challenges arise and debates on how to confront them have formed. My name is Molly McCormick, and today I will be discussing different aspects on genetic testing. Published in 2013, the article Consumer Perspectives on Genetic Testing, Implications for Building Family-Centered Public Policies can be found in Families, Systems, and Health, Volume 18, page 217 to 235. This article is written by a group known as the Genetic Alliance, which is a coalition of consumers and professionals concerned with the needs of individuals and families affected by genetic disorders. In this article, each person gives their first-hand experiences with genetic testing and highlights the need for more information on genetic testing. I chose this article to highlight the major issues that have been and will continue to be ethical dilemmas in government and healthcare. Until appropriate public policies are put into place, the main points I have chosen to discuss are prenatal testing, termination, and the major role insurances now play in an unborn child's life. First, I will be discussing prenatal testing and its pros and cons. Prenatal testing is done by collecting the child's DNA through a procedure known as amniocentesis, which is when a syringe is used to obtain amniotic fluid, which contains the child's DNA from the amniotic sac. There are many beneficial aspects to prenatal testing, the main reason being it allows the parents to know the health of the unborn child, while at the same time allowing them to plan and seek advice for the child's health before he or she is born. Some negative effects are ambiguous information, which basically means the results are not normal, but they do not directly reflect the known diseases and disorders. Therefore, they do not know if something is wrong with the baby. Another negative effect is the cause for the main debate of genetic testing, is whether or not to terminate the child if results conclude that he or she has a debilitating disease that causes restricted living or in some cases death. On that note, I will now be discussing termination. It is almost impossible to bring up genetic testing without mentioning termination, also known as abortion. Many writers from the Genetic Alliance were given the option of abortion once they found out what their child's results were, which were positive, but they did not take it. They all had similar feelings towards the subject, and that is genetic testing is available for parents to obtain as much information about their child as early as possible in efforts to prepare and plan for the best way to raise the child. Finally, I will be discussing insurance and how it plays a major role in termination. One of the major factors that makes parents even consider termination is the medical cost and whether or not insurance will help cover the cost. In many cases, insurance companies will pay little to none of the medical bills associated with those who have deadly genetic diseases, or what they call as a no-win situation. An example of insurance making this claim occurred when one of the writers had to pay out of pocket once insurance refused to pay. 2 years later, after his child was born with sickle cell anemia, he had to file for bankruptcy. In conclusion, prenatal testing, termination, and insurance are all main points that I have chosen to discuss. This article highlights the many and challenging issues that come with genetic testing and emphasizes the need for parents to have more availability to specialists and therapists that specifically are educated in this complex area. I really enjoyed this article, and I hope to work in healthcare one day, and I liked how it allowed you to see their perspective on genetic testing and what they had considered when faced with a life or death decisions.